Biden fails to steady major safety, oil commitments at Arab summit Jeddah. Saudi Arabia President Joe Biden told Arab leaders on Saturday that the United States might continue to be an active partner in the Middle East, however he failed to secure commitments to a nearby protection axis that would encompass Israel or an immediate oil output upward push. The United States is invested in building a superb destiny of the place, in partnership with all of you, and the USA is not going anywhere, he said, according to a transcript of his speech. Biden, who started out his first experience to the Middle East as president with a go-to Israel, offered his vision and strategy for America's engagement inside the Middle East at an Arab summit in Jeddah. The summit communiqué turned into vague, and Saudi Arabia, Washington's most critical Arab best friend, poured bloodless water on U.S. hopes the summit should help lay the groundwork for a regional safety alliance consisting of Israel to combat Iranian threats. During an assembly with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Biden raised the extraordinarily touchy trouble of human rights, drawing counter-criticism from the Crown Prince, additionally referred to as MBS. We accept as true with there may be top-notch fee in together with as many of the abilities on this location as viable, and clearly Israel has significant air and missile defense abilities, as they want to. But we're having these discussions bilaterally with those international locations, a senior administration legit told journalists. A plan to attach air defense structures can be a tough promote for Arab states that haven't any ties with Israel and draw back at being part of an alliance seen as towards Iran, which has a sturdy nearby community of proxies consisting of Iraq, Lebanon and Yemen. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister, Prince Faisal bin Farhan al Saud, mentioned he was no longer aware about any discussions on a Gulf-Israeli defense alliance and that the Dominion was now not worried in such talks. He told newshounds after the U.S. Arab summit that Riyadh's selection to open its airspace to all scheduled carriers had not anything to do with establishing diplomatic ties with Israel and changed into now not a precursor to further steps. Biden has targeted on the summit with 6 Gulf states and Egypt, Jordan and Iraq, whilst downplaying the assembly with MBS, which drew grievance in the United States over human rights concerns. Biden had mentioned he might make regional power Saudi Arabia pariah on the global degree over the 2018 homicide of journalist Jamal Khashoggi with the aid of Saudi marketers, however ultimately determined U.S. interests dictated a recalibration, no longer a rupture, in family members with the world's top oil exporter. The Crown Prince informed Biden that Saudi Arabia had acted to prevent a repeat of errors just like the killing of Khashoggi and that the United States had additionally made mistakes, consisting of in Iraq, a Saudi minister said. Fist bump. Biden exchanged a fist bump with MBS on Friday but said he instructed him he held him responsible for Khashoggi's homicide on the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The president raised the issue. And the Crown Prince answered that this changed into a painful episode for Saudi Arabia and that it become a horrible mistake, said Saudi Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Adel al-Jubeir. The accused have been brought to trial, had been and being punished with prison phrases, he said. U.S. intelligence agencies accept as true with the Crown Prince ordered Khashoggi's killing, which he denies. Jubeir, talking to approximately Friday's verbal exchange, said MBS had made the case that seeking to impose values on other nations by means of force could backfire. It has not worked whilst the U.S. attempted to impose values on Afghanistan and Iraq. In fact, it backfired, Jubeir quoted the Crown Prince as telling Biden. Countries have different values and those values should be reputable. The exchange highlighted tensions which have weighed on family members between Washington and Riyadh, its closest Arab best friend, over problems such as Khashoggi, oil expenditures and the Yemen conflict. Biden wishes the assist of OPEC massive Saudi Arabia at a time of excessive crude costs and different troubles associated with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Washington also wants to minimize Iran's sway within the vicinity and China's international have an effect on. Biden came to Saudi Arabia hoping to reach a deal on oil manufacturing to help pressure down fuel costs, which are driving inflation above 40-year highs and threatening his approval rankings. He leaves the vicinity empty-handed, however, hoping the OPEC Plus institution, comprising Saudi Arabia, Russia and other producers, will raise production at an assembly on August